Okay, so I just wanted to show quickly um, the Connect one. Connect um, dot live church dot ie. Is that correct? Yeah. All right. So all that happened yesterday was, well, firstly, I just had to change the. It was dashboard, and I made it Connect. Because if you try more than 3 times, I also done it. I tried more than 3 times. I logged out of the server, so I just changed the name on the domain to something else, and then so I made it Connect. Right. So this is just one of the things. This is not the main page. This is like an add-on, so that um, you could use this for many things. So one of the things you can use it for is for the different churches to communicate to them. All right. But what I did want to show you, so I'm running Ubuntu in WSL, or a virtual machine on Windows, and I got Docker then run, because Docker, you can only speak to Docker through Linux commands or things like that, Windows PowerShell and things. But you got to load a Ubuntu backbase on, or a Linux backbase, so you could use Debian or one of the others. I just use Ubuntu. So then you can speak to Docker, so in case something goes wrong, I can go and fix it. So I can just, like, I can see what Dockers are running. And you can see all the Dockers running, so I don't have to go into Docker every time. So this is basically Docker. There's just containers, and then you can take those containers, you put each container in a volume or in a multiple volumes, and then you create networks, and containers can see each other and they can't. And so I'll show you now. So like Nextcloud is on a volume on its own. The Nextcloud database is also on a volume in the Docker on its own. The Nextcloud, the proxy manager is also in a volume on its own. So each one is separated from itself, so that if they attack, say, the database, the attack will only go as far as the database. Then inside the containers, they have a link to each other, or not inside the containers. Docker is what brings them together. So you got to go through the database. You got to go into Docker, and you can't get into Docker from outside. Only if I allow outside connections. But on a production environment, you can't get into Docker, because Docker is running on the back end of something else. So you first got to attack that operating system. But why Docker was so that if someone wants to change data or something on the database, it doesn't matter, they can do it, because they can just isolate that container, go onto the live session of the database without affecting anything else, all right, and you can work on that database, and that database will still run in the background. You can have a live test environment, and that's why they do this. It was so that people didn't break things while it was live. If something went wrong, you could see it, and you could just roll back to the last. All right. It was built for many reasons. So this is Portainer. Portainer is just a GUI for Docker. So I have 13 Dockers containers running at the moment, right? So you pull an image. So how this works is, it's like if you make different virtual machines on a computer, all right. So you can make, say, on a big server, you can make 25 virtual machines, with Windows operating systems on them all, and each one can have an operating or a machine in the cloud. So when you come home, you don't log on to your local computer, you log on to the virtual machine in the cloud. Now, that uses a lot of resources. What Docker does is it takes an image. So you built an image of something. So if I wanted to make a backup of the Windows I have on my computer, I would build what they call an image. And then what Docker does is it says, oh, I'm the operating system, but I'm clever enough to tell you that all you've got to do is put your image there and I will do the rest. So it doesn't use all the resources because it knows what each container must happen to run. So when you ask the way it is configured, so it knows that this container is a database, so that's the name. So it knows this is the database. Then it starts looking for information. What kind of database? Oh, it's a Nginx database or MariaDB or MySQL. And this is the information on that database, and this is the SHA, and here it is. And it looks at that and it says, okay, I know what this database does. So it puts it in a container, and when you call on that database, because you connect it via the internal network, which is this one, all right, this here, just let me see, sorry. Okay, so when you, in the internal networks of Docker, which is a bridge, a host, and none. So a bridge, all the containers can speak to each other. A host, you can isolate certain containers, so only the host containers will speak to the other containers, and then none, that's an isolated container, so nothing can speak to it. So you can put them in different things. You see Portainer's got its own bridge, and Nginx Proxy Manager is also on its own bridge. So now if I want to add anything to the data, because this that container has a manager app and a database. So if I wanted to add anything to a database, I didn't have to build a whole new database. I could just take this one and I could add to it if I knew what I was doing. All right. So, and look, it belongs to the same network. So if, say, I want to run Facebook and it needs a database, I can take this database, I can make an extra config file for it, the YAML file, and then when I load the Facebook thing, all I do is just select a network and I put it on the same network as the database. So you don't need 10 different databases to run 10 different programs. You just need one. All right, so let's just go back into Portainer quick. So that is a quick overview of what this does. All right. Let us go here quick. All right. So what I want to do is go to that one. All right. So what we're going to do is now you can see, say this is the home page of a church, all right? So all I've done is I put Connection Church up here. So when you walk into the church, the whole idea is when you walk into the church, the network recognizes who you are. So by your IP address, it recognizes you. So if the pastor changes his phone or a laptop or something, he has to be re-registered. So what you do is you put everyone in a list. So all the leaders in the church, the people that are in ministry, they each get a different grouping. According to their grouping is what will appear on their desktop. All right. So whatever their grouping is will appear. Now, what you can do, so let's say we walk into the church and I got to do with the administration and that. So what I'm going to be looking for is the Pi-hole, which is a network thing that stops all advertisements, and the Ninjin's proxy manager. All right. Now there is other things like AdGuard and WireGuard and things like that you can add to it that you can monitor things. So I want monitoring tools. All right. So I want monitoring tools on my thing, so I can go into Pi-hole and I can see the percentages, block queries blocked, and things like that. Right. In my Jinx proxy manager, I can see my four hosts, my proxy hosts, things like that. All right. And I can manipulate things here as well. And then so I work in media, so I work with video and music. So that's cool. So these are the two. So yeah, I can. This is going to be the library where I'm going to load all my media, like your videos, the Sunday message. This is where they'll be stored through this program going into a NAS. So you will be able to see, yeah, you can display this on the television in the church, and you can set it so it autoplays whatever you want it to. All right, so on the screen while no one's watching or whatever. All right, and then I must make these things open in a new tab. Seriously. But anyway, let's see. All right, so then I got my, that was the media. So yeah, we got the music. Say any podcasts or stuff or things that you're doing, you can put in these kind of things. They can be displayed. People can click on them when they walk into the church. These are things that are open to everyone. All right. And then, so this is how the desktop in the church is going to look, basically. Then you say as media or pass or someone you want to share folders. So this is where you go, and you want to quickly get your folder. Say you left a folder at home with your sermon things on, and you made a My Files new folder. This is your private folder cache. So when you will receive your folders, you can go into this at home. It works exactly like Google Drive and everything, but it's your private thing. No company is seen it, just you can see it, and just you can get into it. Not even the administrator can get into it. So you can share global settings. You can set your own vision. Right, so you can hide .files. I don't know if everyone knows. Use single clicks to open files and directly check the. All right, you can go do all these things, and there's your own file, a personal file server. So you can go anywhere in the world, click on this, and all right, once it's up and running. So that's more an outside thing, and that's going to be isolated to the person. Right, then you got Flame. And all Flame is so you can gain. All right. Okay. All right, so you can set your theme. All right. What this is just a bookmark this is just a bookmark. These things were there. See, I got so many things to remember, passwords. But anyway, that's just a bookmark page. So if you want to bookmark all the links and everything that's happening, your notes or whatever, you can bookmark it on that site. And then there's Dozzle. And all Dozzle is, this is also an administrative tool within the church. So everyone can see what is running. If there's any problems, Dozzle will tell you. So you can look at the connected to the server. If it doesn't connect, it'll send up a message. File browsers, Flame, Heimdall, Jellyfin, Minisip, MStream. Alright, so let's see, ciphers. So everything here is working. Okay. Master, okay. So all these things are working. If something is not working, it will tell you. So it's done. Once it's done, it's working. So these are all the tools, and they will appear within the church. Some of them will appear under a person when they log into their church account or whatever, or go on the web page. And when they click on the web page, it'll be there, my profile, and you can click on your profile, and this screen will come up. The Heimdall screen will come up. And that's just let me make sure everyone understands. All right. So that's what they call the Heimdall screen. Sorry. So this is for, you can put your logo up here. You can go customize the screen if you want. You can see I've got a church picture of a church in Carletonville. So you can customize this. You can put your own CSS, JavaScript. You can put a search provider on it if you want to. And then there's your background image. So you can homepage search, you say to yes, save, and then you go and choose your default search provider. Okay. Alright, so you let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, start page. Oh, so yeah, you can choose where you want to, what you want to do. So it's just basically so you can have your Google search on there. You can do different things. Let's see if we go Flame. And it brings up Flame. So that's just all that is. So if you have a whole lot of apps on here, after a while you won't see them, then you can. So it's an auto. Let's see, I don't know what Baidu is. That's probably another one of those funny whatever. So you can deploy whichever page you want to be seen. So which is nice in Heimdall, because then I can go in and I can say dial, and I want to display this on that screen. So you can start customizing which screen sees what. Alright. That's probably within the software. You could write the script, it can do it, whatever you want to do. But anyway, that was a quick overview of what is happening in the background.